Hello? Is there sound now? Anybody? Do I have sound? Any sound? Okay. Now it's echoing though, so it's going to drive me crazy. But at least you guys can hear me. Man, I had all my ducks in a row today, and there I went the wrench getting thrown in it because I got all my stuff all prepared. I've been working hard on it. So we're going to roll with it. I know that it's echoing in my head. Hopefully it's not echoing in on your end. I'm going to try one thing to see if I can fix it. Hello? That didn't do anything. Okay. Well, let's jump into it. My name's Dusty Draper, and I'm the host of the 321 Report. And what I do on here is I cover true crime cases, and I also talk sometimes about human behavior, which goes a lot right along with true crime, in my opinion. So that is what I'm going to be doing tonight, and I'm excited about it. I'm looking for my announcements. I might have to do them off the top of my head. That no sound thing threw me off. Okay, so first announcement. The channel is now monetized. So that means that you can use the super chats and the super stickers, I believe. And I will be paying attention to those a little more than I usually do, in case you guys use them, because when you do use those, that's supposed to put you at the front of the line for me answering questions and stuff like that. So if you do use them, then know that I will jump on your question first before anybody else's. Another announcement. I talked about merchandise when I got monetized. I forgot that I knew this because when Tyson and I were doing Draper Brothers together, I remember now waiting for us to get up to 10,000 subscribers, and then I could make merchandise. And that's what I did, but I forgot. So I've been saying, yeah, I already got the merchandise all designed and everything, but I can't put it out until we get up to 10,000, which we're not close yet, but we are going to get there one of these days. Lisa Hogan, as far as I can tell, you are the very first person on this channel to use these stickers chats. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're first. Ooh. Oh, thank you, Cat's Eye. You guys are awesome. I want to also thank those who have sent money to donate to travel expenses for me to go to Salida and, maybe some other places like Delphi, places like that. So, yeah, it's going to be, I've already got some of those and I really appreciate them. I do want to talk about, I usually don't give out my address to anybody because I did that before and I wasn't really thinking when I did it. And because, pretty much not safe. So Tiffany reminded me it wasn't safe. So I usually don't do that. But this lady wrote to me and she was convincing to me that she truly was an 88-year-old person that watches my show. And she wanted me to send me a card. And she wanted me to, she sent a check too. And what she wanted me to do was put it towards travel expenses. And she did it for Suzanne's birthday, which I thought was really sweet of her to do. And I think I haven't heard anybody older than her that's a subscriber. So that's pretty awesome. 88. Yeah. So I really appreciate it. I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if she'd want me to, but I really appreciated that. And Maui girl, thank you. Yes, it is working. Thank you. And Cheated No More. Me too. I'm glad I am. It's I saw today. I've been running ads for 2 days and I saw it says your revenue. It's delayed 1 day, so it's 1 day worth of revenue. I made $2.09. So I'm rolling. I better not say that on the air. The IRS will come after me. Oh, S. Brooke, thank you. I want to say one thing about she reminded me of something that happened this week. Somebody wrote me an email. I'm not going to mention their names, but somebody wrote me an email really upset at Miss S. Brooke here. And then they got upset at me because they were trying to tell me, if you don't kick her off of your chats, then you're going to lose a lot of subscribers and this and that. And, I wrote back to her at first and I said, I was real diplomatic about it. And I said, well, I mean, you're going to have to trust me because I've spoken to this person through emails and stuff. And I've made it clear about what my intentions were. And she's made hers clear about her intentions. And I told her that as long as we all keep it civil, then I will have no problem with her being on. And I told this person, I didn't tell this person all of those details, but I told her, you're going to have to trust me. Well, she didn't like that answer. So she doubled down and I told her, well, I don't do good with ultimatums. So, whatever you want to do. And, I wasn't as diplomatic the second time, but I mean, I just quit answering after a while. I just want to make it clear there's room for everybody as far as as long as you're civil and you don't call names and you don't, you're not rude, I guess, then you're welcome here to everybody's, not everybody, but a lot of people have differing opinions. And I think that's awesome because what that does for me is it helps me to think outside the box to where I don't get stuck with tunnel vision. Like I'm focused on the same thing all the time. I want to be able to get new information. That's what cracks cases, is getting new info and not ignoring it because it doesn't fit into your your narrative. So anyway, that's how I run things around here. I'm not going to have people tell me what to do and whatnot about who I should kick off or whatever. You got to do something pretty erroneous to get kicked off of this channel. But I have had people that, hold on a second, I got a fly on my screen. Sorry. That's what happens when you live like right next door to a cow pasture. You get lots of big flies that hang out with the cows. Anyway, that's how I run things. I do get rid of people that have in the past said some pretty horrible things. I mean, I think if you're watching last week, you know what I'm talking about. But let's get past that. You guys, I'm gonna have to get on with my show. You guys are awesome, though. I really appreciate it. Strawberry Wine, she's gonna watch, but she's holding her cat. She said because her cat's not feeling well, so she's not gonna mod tonight. She said, but that's okay. She's an awesome mod. She let me know too, which is awesome. Thank you for the donation, by the way. GM, sorry. I bet you that's what that says. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. And there's one more that I see that I might have missed, or I'm not to it yet. And then I'm going to jump into, no, there's two more. Thank you, K Social Equality. Me too. I'm excited about it. Trying to do it the way that feels the best to me and the way that, I don't know. I'm led by, how I feel about stuff and where the info takes me, where the research takes me. And serendipity, thank you very much. All right, guys. I appreciate those things, but I'm not going to look at the stuff for a minute because I'm going to get into my show. Because if I get into this, I'm going to be on there all night because I'll be answering all your questions and stuff, which I don't mind doing, but I got a lot of information that I want to pass on to you and give you my theories and different stuff. So let's start here. Do any of you know who Kristen Smart is? So I heard of this lady a long time ago, and then her name came back up this week, last couple days. Kristen Smart went missing almost 25 years ago. She went missing. She went to a party. She was a college student. It was off campus, and she was walking back to her dorm room or apartment or whatever. And this guy, Paul Flores, walked her home, and she was never seen again. So 25 years later, they arrested him. I mean, he's been a suspect or a person of interest for a while, but it took them 25 years to arrest him. I know a couple of cases that I hope don't take 25 years to solve or get an arrest for. But they also, this is where it's pertinent to the Morphew case, is they also arrested his dad. And they're saying his dad helped dispose of the body. And they're accusing this Paul Flores, and his dad's name is Ruben Flores. They're accusing Paul Flores of raping her and killing her. They still haven't found her body in 25 years. That might keep, well, I don't know if California has a death penalty, so I was going to say it might keep him from getting executed, but I don't know. I don't think being a liberal state, I don't think they have the death penalty. But they're saying he helped cover this crime up. And that's where I think it relates to this. Because, I mean, I've been pretty clear that there's a lot of people that I feel like know things in this case, the Morphew case, that aren't coming forward. And I've also said that one of my theories could be that somebody besides Barry was responsible for Suzanne's death, and he just helped cover it up to protect somebody. We all know who that somebody is I'm talking about. So one of the well, let me play this video because it'll explain it a little bit better than me, and I haven't got into researching that case a whole lot. So let's let ABC News tell you what happened.
Kristen Smart, the college student who went missing nearly 25 years ago. 2 men have been arrested, including a fellow student last seen with her. And police are crediting a podcast with the break in the case. Amy has the details. Good morning, Amy.
That's right, George. After years of calling Paul Flores a prime suspect, police finally arrested him for murder. His father, Ruben, arrested as an accessory to murder. And this morning, a search on his property for Kristen's body as her family hopes to finally find some closure. This morning, Paul Flores waking up behind bars, accused of murdering college student Kristen Smart nearly 25 years ago. Flores has been under suspicion since Smart disappeared back in May of 1996. He was the last person spotted with the 19-year-old, seen walking her home from a party at California Polytech State University in San Luis Obispo the night she went missing.
Paul remained as a person of interest, and as the case progressed, became a suspect and the prime suspect in the case. Detectives secured a court order authorizing the interception and monitoring of Paul Flores' cell phone and text messages.
On Tuesday, police also arresting Paul's father, Ruben, as an accessory, searching the 80-year-old's property last month with cadaver dogs and using ground-penetrating radars. Police say they found evidence there, but have still not found her body. Smart's family has been hoping for answers for decades.
It's definitely been tough. We don't have closure. We don't know what's happened, and it's been 20 years.
Police say the popular podcast, Your Own Backyard, which shed a new light on Smart's disappearance, helped lead them to the arrests.
That's awesome.
Part of the reason that I first got involved with telling the story of Kristen Smart was that things had been too quiet.
The podcast introducing new witnesses in the case, including one woman who says she spoke to Ruben's wife after Smart disappeared.
I worked with her, and she shared with me that Ruben, in the middle of the night, had gotten a phone call, and he just, took off. And she was very puzzled by that.
They've been waiting for this for way too long, but it's also surreal, and it's hard to take it all in.
This morning, Smart's family calling the arrests bittersweet, saying it is impossible to put into words what this day means for our family. We pray it is the first step to bringing our daughter home. Paul remains behind bars with no bail. His arraignment is scheduled for tomorrow, and Ruben's bail was set at $250,000. We reached out, but the Flores family is not speaking right now, and Paul's attorney says they will not comment on ongoing litigation. Guys, back to you.
Okay, right. Thanks very much.
Once again, a podcast.
Yeah.
A podcast, as we've seen before, leads to...
brings a lot of public interest. It leads to solving these cases.
That's right. That's awesome. Okay, I got this thing here, and every time some bad guy gets arrested, I'm going to go. If you weren't awake, you are now. I borrowed this from work. It was on a little police car that they used one time, a long time ago. I asked my boss about it. Said I could borrow it, so I thought that was cool. All right, so what I thought was very interesting was that related to this case was that father helping his child. I mean, he wasn't. Let's say, how old was he back in? He was like 55. Now he's 80. Back when he helped him. So, I mean, imagine worrying about that pretty much your whole life. I mean, as far as his son, but imagine what it feels like to be arrested at 80 years old and to know that you could spend the rest of your life behind bars. It's crazy. All right, so I heard about something else that during my research that I thought that was really interesting. And there was this case, it was a case from a while back, and it was where a husband and a wife got divorced, and they had 2 daughters. And I guess what happened was the husband ended up kind of brainwashing his daughter to help him kill his ex-wife. And I don't have all the details of what their names were or anything, but that's because I wasn't going to talk about the case. I wanted to talk about one thing that came up that I wanted to talk about tonight. And they brought up this thing called parental alienation. And how they described that was this psychologist, I guess, that was helping during this case, said two things happened to an extreme degree. The daughter did not believe that her mother loved her, and she was dependent on her father. So I guess this dad would just bash the mom all the time to his daughter and say, oh, she doesn't love you, and she does this and that, and she'd be better off dead or whatever. And so she was close to her dad. So to hear this stuff, and it says, this is what the psychologist says. She said she did what made sense to her. She preserved a relationship with the caregiving parent rather than be abandoned by him. And her father cultivated that dependency. So the reason I bring this up, I mean, some of you might have figured it out, but did Barry do this with his daughters? At least one of them. So one of them, and I told you this a couple of episodes ago, maybe last episode. I said, go look at Suzanne's Twitter and tell me. I might not have said it on air. I communicate with a lot of people. I might have just told it to one person, but I recommend it. Go look at Suzanne's Twitter. Look and see how many times that fly is buzzing around. I'm going to get it before this show's over. I better not hit it right now. It's right on my light, and I'll probably break it. All right, so go look on Suzanne's Twitter. Tell me how many times you see pictures or mentions of Macy Morphew. And then tell me how many mentions or posts or whatever about Mallory. Then when you see something about Mallory, look and see what she's doing at the time, what she's talking about. And I'll give you a little hint. Mallory went on hunting trips and camping trips and all kinds of things with Barry. I have no idea if Macy did or not because there's nothing posted about it. But I haven't seen any hunting pictures of Macy. I have seen hunting pictures of Mallory. This one in particular that Shirley says, "Ooh, man, I think I might have got it." Nope, there he is again. So Shirley says that Mallory is just like her dad. So he would take her on these trips, and from what I can gather, it was just the two of them. So I don't know what was said on those trips or what kind of dynamic that was or whatever. I don't know if Barry wanted a son to go hunting with, and Mallory thought it was a way to get close to her dad by doing things that he's enjoying. I don't know. I have no idea. But the weird thing is she goes to school in Colorado, right, when she graduates from high school. So she heads way far away from home. And by the way, that is one of the places that they used to go hunting and stuff. And Suzanne talks about that on Twitter, that they went to Colorado. So, I mean, not too long after she goes to college, what happens? Barry and Suzanne and Macy move to Colorado. Why? Why did they uproot their whole lives? Suzanne was in the middle of battling cancer. Macy was, I believe, just starting high school at the time. So why? Why would they do that? Why would they uproot that? Barry had a business that he had been running. And so when you have a business like his, you have clients, return clients, right? Excuse me for wiping my nose, but these allergies are killing me. So you have a clientele, right, that you build up over years. I kind of did that in my photography stuff, and people do it all the time, and if they own their own business. So why uproot that also? He obviously made some money because they live in like $1 million homes. So, I don't understand unless there was some of this weird dynamic, this parental alienation stuff going on. And that's described as, I don't know if I described it really well earlier. Excuse me. My nose itching and I've got allergies. I'll probably start sneezing. But anyway, how I understood it was, you have one parent, even if they're married, this can happen. Your parent could get one of the children to the side and start saying things about the other one, and your kids are not your friend, I actually, to a lesser extent, way lesser extent, I fell into this trap myself, and it caused a lot of problems. I had been away from my kids for a long time, my two older kids, and I got close to my daughter to where I could talk to her, and I was still her dad, but we could talk about things, and we were rebuilding our relationship because I'd been out of her life for a while because of my drug addiction and other stuff. So while I was rebuilding that, anytime Tiffany and I would have a problem, I made the huge mistake of talking to Jennifer about it, my daughter. And I didn't think of it as something that was really that bad, but now I understand why it would be, because that pits them against each other. And Tiffany, usually the other parent doesn't even know, is what it said in here. And Tiffany had no idea until Jennifer and I had a fight, and then she ended up saying some things that I told her, and that brought up a bunch of problems. So take that example, apply it to what happened with this girl that ended up helping her dad kill her mother. Well, he was probably feeding her all kinds of, oh, your mom's this, your mom's that, anyway. And I don't know if this is going on with the Morphews or not, but I'm just pointing out things that stick out to me when I research stuff and when I start finding new, like new behaviors and stuff. I want to talk about them because I think they're very interesting. Oh. Tiff, if you're listening, bring me a fly swatter, please. Now I have 2 flies in here. I took a shower. I know it's not because I stink. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because I felt it was pertinent, and I felt like it was pretty interesting. So, okay. So I got a couple more things that I want to talk about. I promise what I'm going to do tonight, my main focus is I'm going to break down the 24 hours of May 10th, 2020. I'm going to break that down. I'm going to try to figure out where everybody was that's pertinent to this. I have a lot of holes that I don't know where certain people were and what they were doing. But my good friend, hey, thank you. I love you. She was listening. My wife's the best. She brought me a fly swatter, and I am going to eliminate some flies. She's awesome. Where else are you going to see something like this? She was ducking down because she didn't want anybody to see her. She's funny. All right. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to do that, but I have a couple other things. I had something while I was doing my research, I'm sure you guys could see those fly. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Ooh. I got a tough computer screen. All right. So, sorry about that. So, while I was doing my research this week, I was looking at that video that I showed a couple of weeks ago of the Morphew daughters in Mexico. And while I was watching it today, I saw new details that I hadn't seen before, and it was very, very interesting, and I think it's worth mentioning. Excuse me. So I'm going to share that stuff with you. First, I'm going to get that video up and play it real quick.
Happy birthday, Chase! All the way from Mexico.
I hope you have the best birthday today.
And we can't wait to see you.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Macy can't wait to meet you.
Yes.
You're the best.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey.
So I have some new stuff I want to show you about that. So if you watch real close, and I did because I'm always looking for clues and hints and, proof of stuff. So what I saw today, if you look real close, I'm going to pull up a picture real quick. Just bear with me. I got to find it. Somebody told me today, they gave me some constructive criticism, which I really appreciate, to be honest with you. And they gave me a few tips on stuff I could say and do. And one of the things they said was have your stuff ready and don't say you're looking for stuff, even if you are. And I was like, that's good advice, but that's almost impossible for me to do because my mind works so crazy that I could have everything together. I mean, everything. And it wouldn't matter because stuff just jumps into my head. I mean, literally it does. And so that's what we deal with. And that's one of my things I got in mind that is constantly active and constantly on the go, thinking of new things. So anyway, I'm kind of stalling when I was talking that much because I'm trying to do what she said. Ooh, Mr. Fly's cousin. That should be the end of that. All right. So there it is. Okay. So look at this picture real quick. This is a screenshot from that video. So I don't know if you can see it on your screen or if you can go watch that video and see it for yourself, like on a TV or something. But if you look at the necklace that Mallory is wearing, it says Suzanne on it. All I can see is the ANNE, but it says Suzanne. So that got me thinking, okay, they absolutely still know that their mother is Suzanne. Because some people will say, well, they're acting like they never even had a mom and all this stuff. So this proves that they didn't forget about her. But why is she wearing a necklace with her mom's name on it? And she doesn't say anything about her mom? I see a lot of comments, whatnot, about, maybe she just wanted to take her mom's place. And so I don't know about any of that. But I think it's really, I don't understand. I guess it's just still so confusing to me that they haven't said more than they have said. Well, I mean, they haven't said anything, so anything would be more. But it was kind of, I mean, I'm conflicted on seeing this necklace. And by the way, I found it online and that's what it looks like. What I saw, CZAN, I mean, you can see what I'm talking about, but that's what it looks like. Anyway, I'm conflicted because it kind of made me feel better about them because I'm like, okay, at least I know that they care about their mom a little bit because she's wearing a necklace with her mom's name on it. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, but anyway, I just wanted to put it out there because it was interesting. Another thing I saw was I know where they stayed. Now, how do I know that? Well, I'll show you. And it took me a few times watching it to notice it, but I did. And I'm going to share it with you as soon as I upload it. Okay, one of these has to be it. See, when you screenshot a video, there's not a very high quality photograph. So it's kind of hit and miss. Okay, it's not that one or that one or that one. There it is. Okay, it is this one. I know I'm talking to myself. Sorry, guys. I promise I'm getting it. See, no matter how prepared I am, it just seems like this is what happens every time. Okay, I don't know if I could drag this, but I'm going to try that. Nope. I'm going to try one more time and I'm going to move on, but I wanted to show you proof instead of just telling you. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I think I know where it is. I don't know. Anyway, okay. I don't know where it is. So anyway, Macy, when she raises her arm to go like this to chase, like they want to meet him, she has a bracelet on. And it says the name of the hotel they stayed at. So the name of the hotel is the Grand at Moon something. Let me pull up the website because I have that. I'm wanting to say the Grand at Moon Palace, but it is a 5-star. I'm going to show you how much it cost them to stay there. And that ties into the GoFundMe money and all that other stuff. Yeah, they might have used the other money that they had, maybe. But how do we know? Mallory is the beneficiary to the GoFundMe stuff, the GoFundMe money that people donated for them to help search for their mother. I don't think she's down in Cancun, Mexico at a 5-star resort, but that's where they went. So all right. I'm going to share my screen because I want you guys to see this place. It's pretty unbelievable. And when you see the price to stay there, it's pretty unbelievable too. So let me share this. By the way, for having a 5-star resort, their photography is horrible. I should get a hold of them and tell them I want to take some photos for them, and they can send me down there and do that. But I was trying to blow them up, and they're just so small. Okay, so look at this place. 5-star resort right on the beach. Blah, blah, blah. Look at these rooms. Let's do a virtual tour. Why not? I'll never get there probably. Oh, wow. You can just go right in there. Let's go down here. Look at that. There's a jacuzzi right there in the room. Well, double beds. This must not be the honeymoon suite. Yeah, nice room with a park or view of the parking lot. All right, so let's go to booking. Look at that. This is the all-inclusive one. Okay, this is the one where you would have a bracelet for. All right. So let's go here. All-inclusive. Look at this food. This is where the food is just weird looking. Just give me like a burrito or something. Not down in Mexico, though. You don't eat meat down there. I don't know about Cancun, but you don't want to with the places I went in Mexico. All right. Let's do I did this earlier. I want to book it. Come on. Home. I don't really want to book it, but I want to pretend I'm booking it. So anyway, I don't know. I always have trouble when I'm on here. Oh, here we are. So book now. So the flights are pretty cheap down there, to be honest with you. It's weird. But this isn't. So listen, remember, these prices are not for the room, because there's another part of this website that says average per person per night. So this is how much it costs per night. Why can't you see what I see? Wait a minute. That's weird. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Your screen was totally different than mine, so I'm going to try to pull it up. There we are. Okay, so 531. So let's say they stayed. Let's say they stayed like, this says from April 29th to May. So 5 nights. Let's say they stayed 5 nights. You're not going to go to Mexico and stay less than that, are you? So for the cheapest room they have for 5 nights per person would be $2,000. Well, actually, no. Let me see. Yeah, this is for both people. So that other part of the website must have been saying something else. So $2,653 for the cheapest room. Remember, this is all inclusive, food, all that stuff. So this one is the honeymoon suite. I don't think they stayed in this one, and I really doubt they stayed in the cheapest one, right? But I bet you, because I'm pretty sure Barry went with them, and I know Holly went with them because Mallory's friend Holly, because she took a picture of them, or a video of those two walking, the two girls walking in front of her. So I would say they did this one. It's where you get two rooms and they are like together, like they're adjacent to each other. So it's like called the Grand Family Deluxe, and that's $5,836. So they made about $35,000 from GoFundMe, I believe, for searches, whatnot. They also, Barry also made a bunch of money from selling everything that Suzanne owned while they were married before she went missing. So I would bet that they went all out on this stuff. And if they decided they wanted a presidential suite, that would be $13,962. So they're down there living life, going to Cancun in January. Let's see. June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. 7 months after their mom went missing, they're living it up in Cancun, making happy birthday videos for this guy that one of them hasn't even met, and the other one, I don't know if she's met him or not. I assume she had, because she said, Macy can't wait to meet you. I mean, she didn't let Macy say that. She said that. Macy can't wait to meet you. Okay. Chase, stay away from them. I'm just letting you know. All right. So, interesting side note on the trip. Anyway, yeah. Pretty messed up, if you ask me, to be down there in Mexico at a 5-star resort, laughing and having a good time. It's frustrating. It really is. And you're always going to have these people saying, oh, well, do you expect them just to sit around crying all the time? Well, maybe for a little while, yeah. That would be nice. I expect them to be out at vigils. I expect them to be out looking for. If a 70-something-year-old man that's the neighbor to the Morphews can get out there and search, well, they can. She hikes, she hunts, she does all that other stuff. Where are their like fit boyfriends? One's a sponsored athlete for water sports or something. The other one's a pilot for the Air Force. Why ain't they out there looking? I don't know. This stuff frustrates me. I think you guys already know that, though. All right, let's get into the timeline. So a good friend of mine that I've never met, but we've met through this stuff, and he is probably here right now, and he's probably commenting, and his name is Martin, and he sends me some really cool stuff. He's done a lot of research, and this time I asked him for some information to try to fill in the holes, and he went above and beyond what I wanted. So between his research and my research, we should be able to show you guys a pretty good timeline. There's still some holes, but it's stuff that unless people come forward and say things, there's no way for us to know besides, gossip and rumors and all that stuff. So anyway, so where the timeline starts, we're going to start with Miss Mary Branson. You guys remember her? Mary Branson lived near the job site by the beach side, is what Morgan called it in her interview. And she lived there across the street from it or next door to it or something. But she said she couldn't recall. Okay, it's kind of confusing because I don't know if she knows if it was Friday or Saturday. Like Friday, the 9th or the 8th or Saturday the 9th that she heard equipment running. She said in the middle of the night. And something that's really little bit confusing about that is she also says in the same interview that she went over there the next day to talk to the workers and ask them if they leave keys and this stuff. But it's confusing because it makes me think it might have been Friday, because why would there be workers there on a Sunday and a Sunday of Mother's Day? I mean, there might be. A lot of these guys are traveling construction workers that work away from home. So, and some of them might not have families. So it could have been, but I'm just saying it's kind of, it's a little bit confusing, to be honest with you. So what do we know after that, as far as that might have been like in the wee hours of the night. I don't know if she says middle of the night. Middle of the night to an elderly person could be 9, and to somebody a little bit younger, it could be like 2 or 3 in the morning or whatever. So we don't know exactly when that was. But I'm going to share this too. I put together this thing and I want to show you what I have. So this is kind of the format I'm using. So what I did was I put people's names up here across the top, and over here I put the time. And so what it really should be able to tell us is what everyone was doing at that time. You see there's a lot of empty holes because, we don't know certain things. We don't know where people were, what they were doing, but we do know some of them. And I'm going to try to fill in some of these holes with some of Martin's information. But okay, so let's look at after this happens, okay? So let's say, where was Barry at this time? It says he was in Maysville, Colorado, asleep, or he was in Salida, Colorado, across the street from Mary Branson's house. That was at 12 midnight. And says the same thing all the way to 3 a.m. because I don't know. So I don't know if I saved the older version, but I had written in here at 4 that he was texting Morgan Gentile to get a crew together at 4 a.m. And I got that information from a few sources, but one of them was Andy Mormon said that on an interview on Profiling Evil. So, all right. So all this whole time it says, and I have a question mark there. It says asleep in Maysville, Colorado. And this is for Suzanne all the way down here. And then at 5 a.m. it says her husband, Barry, says she was at home asleep in bed when he left for Broomfield. And next to Barry, or in Barry's slot, it says states he leaves his home, and Suzanne was home asleep in bed, and he starts to drive to Broomfield. So here's driving to Broomfield. If he left at 5, he should have at least got there at least by 9 o'clock. So I'm giving him a little bit, because it took him a long time to get back, even though his wife was missing. So it says he arrives in Broomfield, and I put a question mark because I don't know what time he got there. I don't know what he did. I do know this from traveling so much. I don't think he would have been able to check into a hotel unless he got special permission until they don't usually let you in until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, they have to get the people out at their checkout time and then go in and clean all the rooms. And by the time they do all that, it's usually in the afternoon. So they usually make you wait till 3. I've had to wait to check in before. I've had a couple of them give me special permission, but anyway. So let's say he didn't check into his hotel. What was he doing? So I'm going to pull up Martin's. Martin has an excellent little timeline about the wall and stuff like that. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. Sorry for the dead silence. All right, here it is. I hope he doesn't mind, but I'm going to pull it up on here. So hope you don't mind, Martin. Give me a sign if you don't want me to put it up here on the screen, and I'll take it down. If you're in here. All right. I just have to find it. Man, I'm just having trouble with this stuff like usual, I guess. All right. It says, that's what I did. I didn't open it with my app. Okay. Thank you for reminding me, website. All right. That should do it. Let me see. All right. Martin said he doesn't mind. I saw that, Martin. Thank you. Where in the world is it, though? Boom. All right. So I want to go to this part. All right. So I'm going to go to, see, he's got a lot of question marks too, but, you know, that's just the way it goes. You can't help it. So, yeah, he's got some funny stuff on here too. So I forgot about that. All right. So he says right here, he said this thing, same thing I did about Barry calling Morgan, all that stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to get to his thing so I can share it. All right. I had to get it off of there. All right. So he said that Barry left home at 5, same as I did. And he says, according to Barry, this is the last time Suzanne was seen alive. Well, I'm not sure that was the last time. It might have been before that. So I'm not going to say a word in here because we tell Charlie not to say. It said Barry plants the bike on his way to Broomfield at 05:03. And he said he pretty much says he put that in there to make Barry supporters mad. Says Barry checked into the hotel at 0800. Like I said, I don't know if he could have, but, you know, maybe. So when did he go to work? When did Barry start working on this wall? That's what I want to know. He obviously did some work on it. And I'm going to go to what Martin says about this, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's say Barry went to the wall waiting for the time he could check in, right? If he goes there at 8, unless they have a lot of extra rooms that are available, I mean, people still haven't checked out yet. So here's the questions. Why did Barry go to the Broomfield so early? Let's forget for a minute that it was Mother's Day and Suzanne was home alone. This wasn't Barry's first rodeo. He has been doing this type of work for over 20 years. So why did he go to Broomfield so early and so badly prepared? So he goes on to say, if you have a job, say 20 minutes away, you make sure that you have everything with you that you need and that goes without saying. But if you have a job that is 3 hours away, there's no way that you would forget anything. And that's true because I do remember Morgan saying that, you know, they didn't have any of the tools they needed. It would look like he just cleaned out the back of his truck. So Martin gets into pretty detailed stuff that I don't know much about the retaining wall and how the cappings varying from 2 to 8 blocks high, held together with reinforcement geogrid. See, this is all out of my pay grade, above my pay grade. Says a fairly straightforward job, not rocket science. Well, it's a you maybe, Martin, but sounds like rocket science to somebody like me. Says that is if you have the materials and the tools to do the job. So you're going to need all kinds of extra block, rock fill, geogrid, to increase the height of the wall. So the reason they were doing this job in the first place is because apparently this guy named Cody Cox that I just found out about, that I tried to reach this week, but I couldn't reach him. He apparently was another meth head or something. That I'm not calling you that, Cody. I'm saying Barry calls people that. But he said he screwed up the wall, so he was on drugs. So he said, so Martin goes on to say, so why do this job at all? There was no point. It was going to cost him money. And the client said that there was no urgency with this job. There was absolutely no preparation done for this job. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't. He wasn't prepared. Why wait until 4 a.m. to get a hold of Morgan on Mother's Day? She's a mother, by the way. She's got kids. So why wait until then to contact her and say, get a crew together. We got to go fix this wall. It doesn't make any sense. It's weird. I mean, it makes sense if you look at it like he was trying to get as far away from his house as possible. That makes sense why he did it like that. But if he was, all right, listen to this, okay? I went through Tyson's video with Barry again today, and I know y'all probably seen it a million times, and I apologize for that because I'm going to show it to you again, but I'm going to break it down a little bit. And I'm not going to show the whole thing. I'm just going to hit some points that relate to the 10th, okay? Stuff Barry said that was going on and the reasons he did certain things or believed certain things. Okay, so I got to back this up first. That's Tyson. It was over at that point. So I'm going to go to 59 seconds in, all right? Now watch this. This is amazing. Barry says, let me tell you what happened. And then he goes on to, in 20 seconds, he gives 4 different theories of what could have happened to Suzanne. So listen to this.
The bike was found at the bottom of the hill by that tree where the peak is.
Oh, really?
The first night there was a mountain lion.
There's one.
The officer seen it walk by the car. So we thought maybe she got attacked by a lion. We thought maybe she wrecked.
2.
Coming down this hill, a car coming around the corner fast. Or maybe was disoriented and got in the river.
3.
We've covered all of this really good, this triangle, with search and rescue. So we're pretty comfortable that she's not in this triangle between the RV park, your truck, this road, and then the next road. But what seems to have happened from the investigators, and they don't give much, and I've got private people working for me, is maybe she was abducted right here.
Okay, there's 4. So I was wrong. I thought there was 4 in 20 seconds and then another one, but there was 3 in 20 seconds and then less than a minute, he had 4 total, okay? 4 total theories. He had mountain lion, she wrecked, she got disoriented because she wrecked and drowned in the river or got swept away in the river, or she got abducted. So you know what I think is weird? And this is just a little sidetrack. Barry's not wearing a belt with these shorts, these cargo shorts. I don't know. That's just weird to me. I don't know. I guess because I always wear a belt. I don't know. Maybe not weird. But these kind of shorts, there's no elastic in it. It's just, you can see the belt loops. Put a belt on, dude. All right, let's jump to 2:35. So what happens at 2:35 is Tyson asks him about the bike again, because he just keeps going, blah, 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 I did this, and my buddies did that, and blah, blah. But then Tyson, man, he asked some good questions, because he got some, he did a good job.
They found her bike just right against that tree down there?
Well, no, it was on the ground.
See? That was an awesome question, because he said they found it against a tree, and he's like, he starts telling how the bike looked. He doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't know how the bike was. You know why he doesn't know? Because he wasn't there, first of all. But I used to think that George found the bike, But I went back and listened to Lauren Sharf's interview with George about what she said, he said. And he said that the police had found the bike and he didn't get there until after they were pulling it up. So he doesn't even know how it was sitting. So I guarantee you the cops didn't tell Barry about that. So how else would he know? He knows because he put it there. That's how he knows.
The wheel was facing, and the sheriff department, they screwed everything up.
Hear that? It was the wheel was. The sheriff department. Golly, man. No wonder he doesn't talk. He is not smart. Well, he's smart now for not talking because every time he talked, he said something that incriminated him. Golly. All right. So let's go to 313. I told you I ain't going to listen to the whole thing because I've heard it so many times. Plus, I get sick of hearing it.
They let 10 other people touch the bike. Oh, man. I mean, we was really upset that.
We was really upset. First of all, it's bad grammar, but we was really upset that first night. Who's we? Who was upset, Barry? He's using, and I know Profile and Evil talked about that use, and they were tying it to George Davis about how he kept saying we. But I no longer feel that has anything to do with George when he says we. I think it has to do with him and his daughters, at least one of them. I think that's what he's talking about. And I used to think, until I saw Lauren's video about George, I used to think he was talking about George. And that's what Profile and Evil thought too. But I don't think that anymore. Not anymore. All right. He's going to talk about being in Denver and what time he got back and stuff.
First night, I was in Denver, so.
Oh, you were?
I didn't get here until 9 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
And my friend's an Army Ranger.
No, I ain't listening to that. Let's jump to. Okay, this is interesting. I guess we can listen to this because in a minute, I want you to hear this. I haven't really thought about this. I heard this before, but I haven't really thought of it in this way until today. And listen, you hear a horn honk, and I'll explain.
And he knows this stuff better than anybody. He did 400 tours in Iraq, Afghanistan.
You hear that horn?
Oh, is that?
So this tells me a lot. And I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy for bringing this up. But who's driving Barry's truck? Shirley. Do you know why? As soon as he heard that horn, he went and jumped? Because Mama told him to. Mama's waiting for him back in the truck. He's a mama's boy through and through. And there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. But when you try to act all cool like him and all tough, Mama honking her horn shouldn't get you running. But he took off. Did you see that? I'm going to back it up just a second. Watch when he hears the horn.
400 tours in Iraq, Afghanistan.
Oh, is that?
He took off. You notice how Tyson starts adjusting the camera. He doesn't realize he's already getting an awesome video. He doesn't need to adjust it.
You don't know where that article
I think he
was,
told me
though,
he didn't
by
know
the
if it was
road,
on or
or
not, so he's
they
trying to
won't-
make sure
They
it
won't
was.
say, huh?
All
Barry,
right,
I'm glad you filled me in, man.
let's go to 410. So, look,
I can't even
you
imagine.
want to see something funny? Hey, I didn't know the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story was over there and looking too. That's funny, man. All right, at 4:20, believe it or not, you're gonna see the first appearance of
What I've heard.
Mama Morphew, Shirley. Did you see that luscious white head of hair come creeping along that truck?
Yeah. Well, get your name cleared, and then
Well, and
You know.
they told me.
Get your name clear.
It's cleared. I don't know.
He said they told me my name was already clear. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. They didn't tell you that either. All right. 6. Let's go to 6. This is where he talks about his school. Listen, this is the impression I get from Barry. Hold on. This is the impression I get from Barry. Anything he talks about or does, he exaggerates it. the 400 tours, all this other stuff he's talking about, the mountain lion dragging her and all this stuff. It's all exaggerated. It's like grandeur stuff. He's got delusions of grandeur, maybe. But anyway, listen when he starts talking about the people coming to help.
Where they park up top?
Yeah.
I mean, that truck was always Denver. Okay. We've covered, I had school friends come the first few days. So we had a bunch of guys that.
No, you didn't. You did not. And he told us how many people you had. He said a bunch of school friends. He had one school friend show up. He had one school friend. He had Andy. He had Trevor. He had George. And he had Martin and himself. That's all they had. So this is a bunch of crap.
We covered that real good.
Up in there.
But the only thing, this is a tough one, and my friends aren't in shape like you. So getting up those sides of those hills and stuff is kind of tough.
Well, let me ask you a quick question, Barry. So you were in Denver, but how long before somebody noticed that she was gone? And
well, it was Mother's Day.
It was Mother's Day.
We had two daughters that were coming home from the trip. And I had that job in Denver that I wanted to get started on. Sunday set it up for my workers. My workers would come in Sunday night. We were going to work Sunday night, they were going Monday, but being the owner, I wanted to get everything lined up so that they didn't have to stand and wait on it.
Okay. I missed something, so I wanted to point it out. So I was thinking about something I forgot. So Tyson asked another question here.
Well, let me ask you a quick question, Barry. So you were in Denver, but how long before somebody noticed that she was gone? And
well, it was Mother's Day.
It was Mother's Day.
So he stumbles on his words. When Tyson got done asking that question, on the clock here, on the time of the video, it was 6:31. He stumbles on a few words, then he goes silent. He finally answers it 12 seconds later.
We had two daughters that were coming home from the trip. And I had that job in Denver that I wanted to get started on Sunday, set it up for my workers. My workers would come in Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. That whole story is just so bogus. I can't listen to it again. I asked this question on my community tab on my YouTube channel. I asked, well, actually, I made a statement, I guess. I didn't really ask a question, but I'm going to pull it up for those of you who haven't seen it. I'm going to read it, part of it. It says, at times, the Suzanne Morphew case seems very convoluted, but if you think about things in the simplest terms, it isn't that hard to see through all the confusion. I will give you an example. What are the chances that the three people closest to Suzanne are all going to plan to be gone on Mother's Day, especially Mother's Day in the same year that she has just beat cancer for the second time? Just think about it logically. It just doesn't make a bit of sense. To go camping, they live, out of state, first of all, they live in Colorado, for heaven's sakes. To get a job site ready that you're not even starting on until like Monday. Yeah, okay. The real plan was to get as far away from Puma Path as they could before Suzanne was reported missing. It seems like thus far the plan has worked. Yeah, it does seem like that. So 7:06. Let me jump to that.
Girls are gonna be home. They want to spend Mother's Day with you.
So I know it's hard to hear because of his stupid truck running right there, and plus the river. But he says the girls were going to be home. This is one thing I want to point out here. I'm going to pull up a map. So we know a couple of things. We know the girls went to Utah because we saw them at the Utah sign in a picture. We also know that they were at the Great Salt Lake. I showed you the comparison photos of the horizon. It looked exactly like Antelope Island out there. So that's where they were. They were there at least on May 8th. But I have my doubts if they were still up there on May 9th. I believe they were already back in Colorado, and I've talked about that before, why I believe that. But I'm going to pull up a map real quick. So let's say they did stay in either Idaho, or at least we know they went as far as Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is, I'll show you how far it is from Salida. It's 8 hours, but I'm going to pull it up so you can see it for yourself. All right. Let me remove this real quick and I'll bring it back. All right, so here's the map. Trying to get these separated because one's on top of the other one. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Okay, so here's the map. I know they were at least right up here at Salt Lake. But what if they did go to Idaho? That's even more. That would prove my point even more if they were. But let's just give them the benefit of the doubt that it would have taken them 8 hours to get home from Utah on Mother's Day. So they said they were running late. My key question is, what time did they start getting worried about their mom? What time were they trying to text her or call her? First of all, I don't even know if they ever tried to call her. Barry just said they tried to text her and she didn't answer, so they got worried. She never said they tried to call. But we've went over the bad cell reception. That might have been one of the reasons, okay? But anyway, so if they were going to get home in 8 hours, they would have had to get up pretty early to get home in time to spend some of Mother's Day with their mom, right? So let's say they're camping and they get up at, 8 o'clock, and it takes 8 hours. You're still going to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? From what Andy said in his Profiling Evil interview, he said something about Trevor or the girls were there at 6 o'clock or something like that. So let's say they did get home at 6. So that would have meant that they left at 10 o'clock, and that's if they didn't stop. So you're telling me that you're going to be wasting time and not getting up early and not heading home, and then not even hurrying after your mom is missing, and it takes you till you're going to get home late still. I mean, it just doesn't add up to me. It doesn't make any sense. So what time? I mean, I would love to know what time they really did get home and what time they were supposed to be home. I believe they were sitting right over here, right, Gunnison, right there. I believe they were right over there. And more specifically, I think they were Crested Butte. Where is that stupid place? I may have to look it up. So I'll look it up real quick. So, yeah, there it is. So I think they were here probably because of the video they posted on the 9th that was supposedly supposed to be taken in Idaho, but it wasn't because I've researched this and they've taken a ton of pictures at Crested Butte, a ton. With all those flowers and all that stuff. They were throwing them that in the video they showed. Trying to see if there's any that shows the flowers. This is the key. See this river? So in that video I'm talking about, you can see that river behind them. There you go. I know there's yellow flowers other places, but did the other places look exactly like where they were? Then you have the people that want to keep saying no, no, no. Then they say, well, that video could have been taken at any time. They could have taken it months ago and posted it that day. Okay, tell me this. You're on a trip cross country, well, sort of, from state to state, traveling, making memories, doing this stuff, and you're going to post a video from another time instead of one that on the trip you're on that time? That's not what they do. That's not what people do. People post what they're doing at the moment. They can't wait. It seems like they're just in a rush. They're not enjoying the moment. They have to post about it. Don't believe me if you don't want to, but mark my words, when that discovery comes out, you're going to see all this stuff. Cell phone records, all that. They're not going to show they were there. They're going to show they were here on the 9th. So if they were already back in Colorado, as my theory believes, as what I believe, why did it take them so long to get home? Why were they late? Were they waiting for somebody to find the bike? I don't know what time they contacted Suzanne or tried to or whatever, but Miss Ritter didn't call 911 until 5:36. That's when she called. 5:36. So did they not start saying they were going to be late until then? Or did she wait a long time? I don't know. All right, I'm just looking at comments. So I'm going to look at them for a minute before I keep going. So here's a good question. I'm going to pull some of these up for a second because I don't want to go too fast and ignore some of your questions because it's hard to find them. So Shelby's asking, so the plan was for Suzanne to be alone? No, I think she was already dead. That's what I think. And I think that they were trying to get away from it, and they had this lame plan to, or maybe not they, but maybe Barry. I don't know. But there's different theories that I can go down, or different roads I could go down. But what I think is something happened. They had to get as far away from Maysville, from Puma Path, as they could, and then enact some lame plan. And this is all they could come up with. So, no, I don't think it was planned for her to be alone. I think it was a plan to cover up something that had already happened. So, no, but I would love to know this, Beth. What time? Who couldn't have known, AK? The girls? So the person you spoke to knows, though. I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe I missed some other question or something. Are you saying the girls got back at 7? Not sure. Anyway, this is it's hard to keep up with all these. Yeah, that's obvious. I figured that. I mean, I've never seen any proof of them going to no church camp. Nope. Another question I have is, when did Trevor get there? When? He was really vocal. He was in the searches. He was on TV a couple days later. When did he get there? And when was he notified? And by who? It's all good questions. I'd love to know the answers. All right, so where are we at on the timeline thing? So so we know that what time, I was wondering what time Morgan and Jeff and Cassidy got to Broomfield and what time Barry actually left. He didn't get home till 9, he said. Even though he told Andy he got home at 6, he didn't get home till 9 is what he told Tyson. And that seems more along the lines of what George Davis told Lauren Scharf. It says, she asked, how did George get involved? And he said, another firefighter called George and notified him of a missing bike being discovered. And he headed there. He called Barry. According to George, Barry asked, you've heard, are you going? I'm driving back from Denver now. That's just a weird way to phrase stuff. George couldn't recall when he talked to Barry. When George got to the bike scene, there were 2 other deputies there. I wonder why she says 2 other. George isn't a deputy, is he? I hope not. And they were in the process of pulling the bike up. George said this was a giant no-no. And they shouldn't have touched it. Giant no-no. And George also said the bike wasn't damaged, so you can almost surely rule out a wreck. George also said it was definitely not an animal attack, and he repeated that. So there's 2 of Barry's theories he debunked right there. And she asked him if he helped with the search in September when Andy came out, and he said he spoke to Andy but couldn't take time off from work to help search. George said he hasn't spoken to Trevor Noel since about 3 or 4 weeks after Suzanne went missing. Well, that's just weird because that's exactly when he kind of went AWOL. So that's pretty convenient. Oh, gosh, what a mess this is. Yeah. All right. So George is a fireman, heard it on the radio. All right. Thanks, man. Who was in Salida with Barry on Friday p.m. and Saturday all day? Morgan Gentile. Morgan was. Yeah. I believe she knows more than what she's saying for sure. But, and you know, another reason I think that, besides she just seems a little off, is because she refused the lie detector test. I get it why people wouldn't take those in certain cases, but she wasn't being charged with anything. That just tells me she knows more than what she is leading us to believe. All right. So we kind of jumped around on the timeline a little bit. Excuse me. But I'm going to pull this up and see if I've got something on here that I want to share. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So sorry, I'm trying to open this again. Trying to open Martin's thing back up real quick. All right. So So this is part, I'm going to pull this up, Martin. So this is part of Martin's really thorough spreadsheet, I guess you call it, that I want to share. All right. So let me get AK's thing off there real quick. All right. So it says, am I missing something here? Barry was the last person to see Suzanne alive. And then he has a heading that says staged. Everything that happened on Sunday was staged. The Broomfield job, the bike, the helmet, the mountain lion, the Facebook, all staged. I don't know what the Facebook is. The last person apart from Barry to see Suzanne alive was she talked to Scott, the guy that fixes bikes at his home, because he does bike repairs from his home, and that was on Thursday, is what he's saying. And then Suzanne's text conversation with a friend suddenly stops on Saturday afternoon, which could or could not have been Suzanne. We don't really know. So one of the important parts of this, and I've been thinking about this, and Martin touches on it also, is why did they have Miss Ritter, Jean Ritter, involved in all this? And why didn't he could have called anybody? He could have called George. He could have called anybody. He needed one of his firefighter buddies to go check and see if Suzanne was home. They got this little old lady to do it. Why would they do that? Yeah, you could say because they live, like, you could throw a rock at their house from the other house. But I don't know. I think, and I think Martin thinks from reading this stuff, is if you look at it like, if Barry would have called 911, it would have been a totally different scenario. He was the last one to see Suzanne. Then he takes off to Denver, and then he's all, oh, my wife's missing. I need to call. So he had to get somebody else involved, somebody that's seemingly neutral. And also he had to have his girls do certain things, or, okay, first of all, he didn't know that they were going to be late getting home, right? Or did he? I don't know. Maybe he did. So it wouldn't have looked good if they would have found the bike either, right? Or found out their mom was missing or whatever. So that might have been why the delay in Crested Butte or Gunnison or wherever they were. But when you have some little old lady calling saying, hey, her family's out of town. They called me worried. She went on a bike ride, apparently, because that was planted in her head, first of all. Well, maybe she went on a bike ride. Can you see if her bike's there? Oh, no, her bike's not here. Yeah. So all of a sudden, boom, the birth of the bike theory. And some of what Martin was saying in the stuff I read that he sent me was, after that bike theory was born, I mean, if you look at her, Barry goes down to the Poncha Springs market, right? He said, I want to leave a description of my wife here. And what does he write? Bike, helmet, the color of the he didn't say one thing about Suzanne. And then what's on the flyer that we see a lot of? Suzanne wearing a bike helmet, right? So that was, and then it was convenient that they find what I believe was her helmet. Teresa, her friend Teresa, keeps bringing up her Apple Watch. She wouldn't go anywhere without it because it was her way to measure her heart rate, different stuff like that. I have I'm not wearing it because my band broke, but I have It's not an Apple Watch. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's one of those, not a Garmin, but there's another one. I don't know, Fitbit. Yeah, I got a Fitbit. And if I'm going on a walk or doing anything, I'm going to wear it because I want to, first of all, measure how far I went. And then it also does the heart rate and all that stuff. So I want to keep track of that stuff. So apparently Suzanne wanted to do that too. So where was this? Yeah, Fitbit. Thanks. Anyway, why isn't it? As far as I know, they haven't tracked it. I haven't heard where her phone was or if it was found or recovered or whatever. I don't know because I haven't heard that. But that would be some really, this is one of those cases where you can't wait till discovery comes out so you could see what happened with all this stuff. Why certain things aren't talked about and other things are. All right. There's always another week to discuss the rest of these timelines, but I think that we've covered a lot, and I want to get into the comments because I keep peeking over there and I see you guys having some good conversations. I want to jump in on this. So, like I reminded everybody at the beginning, there wasn't as many people there or here. So, I did receive monetization on the channel. So if you guys want to ask me stuff and want to donate for trips I want to take or whatever you want to donate for Suzanne, like I was telling you, a lady donated for Suzanne's birthday for me to go looking for answers. So if you want to do that, you'll be the first ones I answer your questions. But if not, that's fine too. I'm going to pick out some that I'm going to try to follow what you guys have been talking about, but it's really hard when stuff goes. I even set it on slow mode where you can only post every 10 seconds, but yeah. Shelby, I sure hope we do someday. I don't know. Colorado's getting a little stingy with their, what do they call? They don't call them FOIA requests up there, I guess. Maybe they do, but there was some kind of Cora or something. So all accounts say the phone was not located. I believe that. All right, let's see what we got. Thank you, Melody. I appreciate that. Find out exactly when CC arrived to the Broomfield job, bro. The keys to the kingdom are awaiting. All right. Thank you, AK, for the donation. I thought that you weren't, I wrote you a message a while back on Twitter asking you a few questions, but I appreciate if you're wanting me to figure them out by myself, but just kidding, man. Sometimes I take the route to ask certain things because I've banged my head against the wall for so long that I just think people know more than I do. Oh, I know some people know more than I do. I think it will be easier for you to learn Greek than to understand. Yeah, no kidding. Brenda, hello. Great work, Dusty. I think you just might. No, I'm definitely not going to break this case by myself because I'm lost sometimes, and people send me information like Martin and different people, like AK is doing tonight, asking questions. That's a great way to get information when he asks questions, trying to get us to use our brains. A lot of you send me information, and you give me avenues to go down that I don't think about on my own. So that's why I think that having differing opinions in here is also pretty awesome. Thank you, Shelby. You're awesome at it. So thank you. I appreciate it. You've always been real good to me, even from the Draper Brother days. I appreciate it. Mary Lou Purpura. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for donating. You know, I've been saying all along, I want to get over there before Suzanne's birthday. You want to go to Salida. I'm not sure I have enough time right now to make that happen, but now I think my goal is going to be to get there on or around the anniversary of her disappearance. I have a feeling, and it's just a gut feeling, that some things are going to be going down that day, hopefully, or around that time. But people have been saying that for months and months and months, almost a year. So, you know. Thank you, Peace Lily. I really appreciate that. I can't do any of this stuff without you guys here. Trevor is the key to the door, especially if he had work done on his own property, like the septic field. Maybe the dog should go to Trevor's property. So, you know, people, I think I got an email today about somebody saying that about checking Trevor's land. And I thought, man, could they be that dumb where they would put her on one of their properties? But then you think back to Chad Daybell and Alex burying Tylee and JJ at Chad's place. What makes somebody do something so stupid? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, let alone you've already killed 2 children, but I mean, that's because you're a nut. But are you stupid along with that? You know, like, I just never understood that. I just never understood why they buried. You're in Idaho. You got all this wide open land, and you're going to put them in your garden next to a fire pit? Stupid. But yeah, Trevor, I know a lot of you probably saw my video where I called him. I was pretty shocked he answered the phone. I mean, I know I said that after I called him and stuff, but I sent him a couple of texts after that. I mentioned one on there, but after I got off the phone, I sent him another one. And this is what I said. I said, let me read it. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but okay, this is what I said. I said, just answer one question, only one, and I won't ever contact you again. He didn't write me back. What do y'all think the question would have been that I would have asked him? When I wrote that, I was trying to narrow it down to just one question because I have several I want to ask him. And a lot of people might say, oh, you should ask him where Suzanne is. I mean, he would deny that. You have to ask him something else. And I was thinking maybe I would ask him, you know, there's an obvious one everybody would ask him, why did you go silent after being so vocal? That would be one. But I was also thinking I would ask him, aren't you afraid that you're going to get in trouble and you're never going to get to see your daughters again? He would not do good in prison. No, he would not. Looking for some more questions. I don't have a set figure. I don't know. After tonight, I'm getting a lot closer. I'll tell you that after these donations. Even after YouTube takes their 30% cut, if you can believe that. And with the $2.09 I made off the skippable ads, I should be getting a lot closer. Well, thank you, Pat. Pat Russell. I love the name Russell. My dad's name is Russell. My son Trevin's middle name is Russell. I just like that name. Thank you. So I saw one of these earlier. Yeah, it must be the old one. So I don't think I said anything about this, but Kay's social equality, she says, I can't find it in here, but I can click on it up here. So I'm going to tell you what she said. She'd made a donation. She said, so many unanswered questions and missing blanks. There is. And I was hoping to fill up that whole chart that I had, but it's almost impossible when you don't know all the information. I mean, it's no more simple than that. So I'm not sure why the police would tell Trevor not to talk. Maybe, but I'm not sure why they would. What does he know that they don't want him talking about? I don't know. A lot of people say that. Well, maybe lawyers told him not to talk or law enforcement, but first of all, do they even have lawyers? They better get some if they get caught knowing something. Thank you, Texas Gal. I sure do appreciate you guys. I should do this every time somebody donates. That's freaking loud. Man, that's probably a lot louder to me because I'm right here. Everything that I can hear, every click, every fly buzzing by, everything on this mic. You guys, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but thank you very much for the donation. I really appreciate that. Tyler Quartermus, $4.99. Thank you so much, Tyler. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm pretty sure you're talking about Cassidy. I know I've said some things about Cassidy when Tyson and I were working together and before I knew a little bit more about him. But I had a video when I was with Tyson that I did on Cassidy when he went to court. And I started feeling really bad for him after that. And I felt like he was mixed up in some stuff and he was way over his head and he was petrified. And he also had some substance abuse issues, and I've dealt with those in my past, and I have a soft spot for somebody who tries to alleviate their pain in their life to escape or try to do it with drugs or alcohol or something. So yeah, I started feeling bad for him. And out of all the people in this whole saga, I feel like he's one of the most human people and the most I have the most empathy for in this. So I don't know, Shelby. I've personally never talked to Andy. I have been in the room when Tyson and I went to Indiana back when we were investigating the Delphi stuff, and we I think it was September of last year. He was on, Tyson put him on speakerphone. I could hear everything he was talking about. That was when he offered us the tickets to the race and all that. But I've never personally talked to him. So I don't know if he would or not. He hasn't even been going on Profiling Evil where he was going on there a lot. So I don't even know if he's been on any other shows besides them. But I'm not sure that I would ask him to. he's been through a lot of stuff, you know, and I don't know if he could say any more than he's already said, but I would like to know if he's doing okay, though. Okay, I won't do that anymore. Golf. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blow your eardrums out. I'll probably just take that back to work, to be honest with you. So, Teresa, thank you so much. See, I'm getting closer now. When people start doing that, that's when it's like, okay, I can start making plans. Triple D Shaughnessy, you know what? You can go back and watch it. And you could read the comments. I never watch these. I know I've told you guys that. Because sometimes I'll accidentally click on them and I'll hear my voice and I'll be like, gosh, I gotta push. Tyson, one time we went that same trip we went to Indiana. Me and Tyson were in the same hotel room, and he started watching one. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm gonna watch the replay. And I'm like, I can't watch. I can't listen. I put my headphones in and or earbuds in, and I was watching something else. But then every once in a while, I'd see a facial expression from him, and I'd take them out and say, what are you? And then he would play for me what. And there was some funny stuff in there that I forgot I said, or, you know, whatever. But yeah, I can't do it. It's hard. Hey, Tony. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. Man, there's a lot of you in here. 280 people. I think that's like the most we've had on a live so far. I mean, we've hovered around that sometimes, but you know what I'm happy about? There's some channels, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I'm happy about it because it proves that you guys are loyal and you watch stuff. I'm happy about the fact that I only have before I started the show, I had 1,644 subscribers, and I get almost 3,000 views on the videos I put out, the lives anyways, and some of the other ones. So I think that's amazing because there's some channels that are like 10 times bigger than mine that don't get that many or just around that many. So I think I'm overshooting. That's what I think. I think it's because of you guys. Well, I know it's because of you guys because I don't watch them 3,000 times because I don't even watch them once. Maybe I should start watching them. It'll bump my numbers up. Man, I wish I was paying more attention to these. I want to know what this means. We may not have to wait for law enforcement. Oh, because somebody else above it said, cannot wait for law enforcement to give all the facts. Yes, I do think it'll be solved. You know what I think it's going to take, though? Like, and it might already be happening. I think it's going to take people talking, like people that have a little bit of knowledge or whatever, or just because, I mean, it's been almost a year and there haven't been any huge mistakes made. There's been little circumstantial things that come out, you know, Barry putting his foot in his mouth and doing stuff that just doesn't make any sense. And then, but anyway, yeah, I do think it's going to be solved. If I didn't think that, I probably wouldn't be doing this. I don't want it to take 25 years like Kristen Smart's, but I hope it doesn't. I don't think they do. I don't think firefighters, I mean, some of firefighters are paramedics, so maybe they do, but hi. That's cool. What's Daniel doing? Is he stirring stuff up in here? He was going before the show even started. Oh. I'm rolling through these. Oh, it's coming on 2 hours. I can't believe I do these 2-hour shows. I thank you, Lisa. I hope that BM's daughters get interrogated by law enforcement. That would be nice if they would at least question them. Just, I mean, if they haven't, like one of them, I know that they should have already because she's over 18, but I don't know if they even have talked to him. I don't know much about her, to be honest with you. I heard a lot before, like, oh, the new DA's coming in. She's going to shake things up. She's going to put more. Maybe she is, and we just haven't heard of it, but I don't know. See, Daniel said he's just giving the truth and his suspicions. I don't know what else he was saying, but this is a good, I guess I think she's talking to all y'all, but I didn't know you could block somebody yourself, but maybe you can. I don't know. Thanks, Sally. By the way, Sally, I know you send me stuff and I read it. It's just I have a lot of people writing to me and I try to get to everybody and it's hard. So I'm trying. Just know I read them. Welcome, Thomas. You're one of the 5% or whatever I've got of male fans. I only have, like, last time I checked, it was 5% male and 95% female. Oh, I got some answers. Sorry, guys. All right. Well, oh, gosh. Let me see. Oh, Brenda, thanks again. Sometimes I get intrigued and I want to go back and read them. It's just like, I feel like if I get into it, I'm never going to get out of it. Like 2 hours worth of this stuff. Gosh. Dude, you're a YouTuber in my opinion. I mean, when you were working with Brandon, he used to talk about you all the time. And then we all of a sudden we knew who you were. That's interesting, Diana. I'd like to hear more about that. Maybe I have already. All right. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap this up, folks. I just want to say this. You guys are amazing, And I'm not just saying that because you've been donating money. I'm saying that because, like, I shouldn't be having almost 300 people in here talking or chatting with each other and me or whatever, but I do. And like, that's crazy. I'm overshooting what I got for subscribers, and I just hope I keep growing and I keep getting support from y'all. The only reason I want to keep growing, I really could just settle for what we have here, but I want to be able to get as many people involved as I can. And that allows me to go out and do things that I love doing. I'm not like, I know I'm not like this huge boots on the ground guy. I'm usually sitting right here, but when I get out there, I love it. It's like I don't know how to describe it, except you feel like you're actually doing something as far as like getting to truth and getting to answers instead of just sitting there on your computer trying to wade through all that stuff. You go and you're doing the hands-on stuff. So I know the dynamic when I was working with Tyson on the Draper Brothers was more like it was more like he was the boots on the ground guy and I was the guy that did the research and did all that other stuff and put the show together and the technical stuff. But I really do like getting out there and doing stuff. When I went to Salida, I went by myself, which it freaked me out a little bit, but it was like an adrenaline rush whenever I was flying that drone over the Barry's house. And imagine the extra adrenaline rush I had when I was watching the footage in the hotel room that night, and I saw Barry on the footage when I already checked the house, and he wasn't there when I checked it. So that was really freaky. But anyway, I love doing that stuff, and you guys supporting me and encouraging me and helping me. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to hit these last few and do some thank yous real quick, and then I got to go. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm feeling the love, that's for sure. Oh, okay. I'm going to try to find that. I'll take it. There's no decimal point, is there? Okay. All right. All right. I appreciate you guys. I'm so thankful for the time you take to watch this and help me with my research. And special thanks to my mods, for Tiffany for getting the fly swatter, because I couldn't have dealt with flies for 2 hours. Martin, thank you for your research. That was really amazing. And yeah, keep on keeping on. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all you do. And I will see you. I'm probably going to do some more cold calls, but I'll see you next Wednesday. Appreciate y'all. Adios.